And Wendy, I know that you work with leaders across a range of organizations. I'm really keen to find out, what are some of the key challenges that you're noticing facing leaders post-pandemic?
Yeah, it's been really interesting. I was wondering, after the pandemic sort of started to wind up, although it still is happening technically, how it would actually play out in the workplace. And we obviously, heard about the Great Resignation, and there were a lot of talk around, how businesses are going to manage flexible working, hybrid offices, and a lot of those things. And I think there was an expectation that it would get to the new norm a lot quicker than it has. And a lot of the leaders I'm talking to are still finding that it's still a work in progress, and that staff aren't yet settled. They're not yet settled. It seems like, we're, just in the start of the year as we record this, and already people have got their foot right down on the pedal, and they're just going, as fast as they can. And yeah, I just feel like, the stress levels and the need for resilience is still as strong as ever.
That's really interesting. And I've heard the same thing. We talk about what is the new normal, or when do we get there? And maybe this extended transition period of the new normal is, the work in progress. Maybe that's what it is. And so I think that really feeds into this mindset of the resilient leader. And their ability to adapt to change.
Yeah, definitely. And the team look to leaders, for ideas and advice, and leading the way on these sorts of areas. But it's something that all of us haven't been through before, and so it's been an interesting challenge, I think, for leaders, because there's expectation for them to show the way, a way they haven't been before. And so they're learning as much as their team as to, how is this going to best work? And, when I get inquiries, it's there's extra topics being added to the wish list of what they want to cover around, the hybrid working and managing these different ways of working, and managing higher levels of stress across the board more than beforehand. I actually think that with what everyone's been through, there's almost like a global trauma that's happened. And even if you kept your job and you were okay, financially, there's still an element of having been through a trauma. And so some people find themselves in a situation mentally where they weren't expecting to be. And I think, it's good for leaders to, upskill in some of these areas so they can help their teams.